You know, fall is a busy time for all of us gardeners because we have a lot of prep work to do before the cold winds start to blow, especially if you use a lot of containers in your garden. You know, they can get to be very expensive if you have to replace them every spring. So I want to give you some tips on how to make them last a lot longer. First of all, don't ever store your pots with dirt in them. Instead, dump out that potting soil. Take out the old plants, throw those away, and that soil can be recycled next spring if you put it into your compost pile. And if you don't have that, you can also just dump it out into one of your flower beds, pile up all of that dirt from your old containers, and then over the top of it, put a layer of grass clippings. If you don't have that, newspaper or some old leaves. Let it decompose over the winter time, and the spring you can reuse that potting soil. Okay, once your pots are all empty, you need to clean them. You know, you don't want to store them dirty for a lot of reasons. First of all, they're really messy. And number two, there can be bugs and insects that get into your pots during the summertime, and they just breed and grow over the winter. So if you mix up a solution of 10 parts water to 1 part bleach, and then you just put on some rubber gloves, take a scrub brush and scrub out the inside of your pot, rinse it out with plain water, set them out in the sunshine and let them dry, then they're ready to store away. Now, let's talk about some special kind of pots, like our porous pots. This is a ceramic glazed pot on the outside. On the inside though, it's not glazed. This is going to allow moisture or rain, if left outside, to get into this pot. When it gets really cold and you drop below freezing, that moisture will freeze, and as the ice expands, that's what cracks your pots. So if you have a pot like a terracotta pot or a ceramic glazed pot that's not glazed on the inside, then you need to be sure that you put them away like inside of the garage if you've got one. If you don't have a garage, here's something else you can do. Store them upside down like this. Put a couple of bricks down on the ground on the south side of your house or your building. Put them up on the bricks like this, upside down, and then cover them up with a tarp, something that'll keep the rain and snow from collecting inside of them. That's the best you can do to store them if you don't have a garage. But remember, if you've got just a little bit of storage space and a few terracotta pots, put those in the garage, because even the method I told you about turning upside down, it doesn't always work for terracotta because it's so porous. Now, the other thing that might come to your mind is like, what about big pots, Vicki? Like this one? Now, a big ceramic pot like this one, again, glazed on the outside, but not on the inside. This one is too big to be moving into your garage or try to struggle over to the south side of your house. Instead, here's what we're going to do to protect it. We're going to rock it up and slide some bricks underneath it again to keep it off the ground, empty out all the plants and all the dirt that's inside of it, and then we're going to take some simple bubble wrap like this, and we're going to wrap our pot in the bubble wrap. That acts just like an insulation that'll just keep it a little bit warmer, and then cover it over with either a large garbage bag or maybe another tarp. It may not look very pretty, but you don't want to be out there spending $200 or $300 on a pot this size every season. Regardless of what kind of flower pots you have, you're going to have to protect them unless they are wood or cast iron. Those are great because they can stay outside all year around without any protection. Now, once you've got all your flower pots taken care of, if you've got a fountain or a bird bath in your yard, you need to make sure that you prep it for the winter time too. First, start by draining your fountain. Make sure you get all the water out of it, but don't forget to cover it also either with a fountain cover or with a tarp, because if water falls in here, again, it freezes in the winter and it'll crack it. And don't think if you keep your fountain running through the winter, you'll be safe. That doesn't work. Make sure you clean it out. For a bird bath, same thing. Make sure that you turn your bird bath bowl over upside down so water doesn't collect in it during the winter time. That way when spring comes, you'll be ready to plant beautiful container gardens all around your yard, welcome the birds back to their bird fountain, and throw the switch and turn on your fountain.